today's topic, and I guess the format is I'm gonna talk for up to 10 minutes. We'll have 5 minutes or so for questions. The goal is to get finished in time to be able to start the bridge game at 10:05. That's only 17 minutes from now. Topic is, as I mentioned, as part of the 2-over-1 system, it's been found helpful to play one no trump as a forcing bid when one partner opens one of a major and the responder has less than a game forcing hand, that is up to about 11 high card points. He can bid one no trump and opener is forced to bid. As usual, opener will look at the point range first of his hand and say, am I minimum, am I medium, am I maximum? And if he's minimum, he has a limited choice of bids to make in response to the one no trump. If he opened one spade, he can bid 2 hearts, for example. If he has a 4-card heart suit, he can rebid his major if he has 6 of them. If he doesn't have either of those 2 things, then he has to rebid 2 of a minor. And he might be 5-2-3-3, in which case he just bids 2 clubs. He might be 5-3-3-2, in which case he bids 2 diamonds. He bids his lowest 3-card suit if he doesn't have a good major suit rebid. Similarly, if he opens a heart, same considerations, except that he can't rebid 2 spades because that would because it takes the contract to a higher level. That his opener would have to, or responder would have to correct to the 3 level if he wanted to go back to hearts. We require opener to have extra values to reverse into 2 spades. Sometimes, so opener might be 4-5-1-3. They can rebid 2 clubs. If opener is 4-5-2-2, well, that's the hand everybody hopes they never have. They have to rebid 2 clubs on their 2-card suit. But that's the only time. That's literally the only shape that.
Mark, if you're, would you go up the line if you're 5-4-4, or what would you do with that?
If I'm 5-4-4, I always rebid 2 hearts because that 4-card heart suit is
okay.
Emphasis always on the majors. That's a very good question.
Sure.
If you're 5-0-4-4 on the other hand,
right?
I would probably rebid 2 diamonds because then responders never have what you hope they have. And they're often going to bid 2 hearts.
Right.
And you might then want to bid 3 clubs to say, no, let's try one of my suits.
Right. Okay, thanks.
Let's see. So sometimes opener has more than a minimum, in which case they're going to be tempted to jump. Well, you gotta have a really good hand to jump. In my book, I need about 19 points to jump to a new suit. I guess in the book you're learning from, they say you can jump with as little as about 16 points. But anyway, so you and your partner just
you do got to be careful because you got to think about what could happen there, right?
Yeah, I mean your system kind of divides things into 2 ranges. You either have a minimum or a maximum. And I prefer teaching, and this is the way I play, is I have 3 ranges. I can have a minimum, I can have a medium hand, or I can have a maximum. Let's say I have 16 points and a really good 6-card suit. Really good 6-card heart suit. It'll go a heart, a no trump, 3 hearts. Just absolutely as you expect. If you have 5-3-3-2 and a 15 or 16 point hand, well, maybe you should have opened a no trump in the first place, because those get a little bit awkward to bid when partner responds to no trump, and you're not quite sure whether we have enough to bid 2 no trump or whether to bid a 3-card minor and then what. So I would actually encourage you to just open a no trump when you have a balanced hand with 15 or 16 points in a 5-card major. What other things might you do? What about a 2 no trump rebid? Well, here, Mark's system treats that as invitational, and I agree. Whether that's 16 or 17, whether that's 18 or 19, you and your partner can kind of agree on a range. Mark's book, the book you may be learning from, says it's 16 to 19. I prefer a little narrower range, and I use 18 to 19 for that specific bid. That way partner can really make a firm judgment as to whether to go on to 3 no Now, from responders' point of view, what happens when opener rebids? His most often rebid is going to be 2 clubs or 2 diamonds, right? Because he never has a 6-card suit. He never has 5-4 in the majors. Let's suppose he bids 2 clubs, and you're looking at this balanced 11 count. Well, that's pretty nice. You can just bid 2 NoTrump, and you've shown exactly your hand. I play 2 NoTrump is exactly 11 points in that sequence. If you have less, just bid it like you have a 7 to 10 point hand. What else might you want to do? You might say, I want to raise partner's minor suit because I've got 4-card support. I've got, say, 2, 4, 3, 4, and an 8 count. And I would say, no, you don't raise partner's minor suit because he might only have 3 of them. You just go back to opener's major. Probably 70% of the time, you're just going to go back and rebid 2 of opener's major because that 5-2 fit, while it might not be much fun for your partner, it's often going to be the best contract.
You're telling me a 7-card fit can make a 7-card fit can make, Mark? You're trying to tell us?
I think those are great fun. Actually, you can display a little bit of your declarer place skills. Because
I will tell you guys, I see this work out time and time again. So don't be afraid to go back there to that.
A guy named Jeff Mextroth, who is deemed kind of the best player in the world, says 85% of contracts should be played in suit contracts. 85% of the time, you will take more tricks and score more points in a suit contract versus a NoTrump contract. So yeah, it's a 5-2. Responder sometimes doesn't have a 2-card preference in order to go back to opener's major, or he doesn't have a balanced 11 count. Well, what else can he bid? Well, he can bid a new suit. Now, oftentimes you're going to say, I don't want to play this. Well, let's say the auction goes a spade and NoTrump, 2 clubs by opener, and remember that could be just a 3-card suit. And responder says, "Well, I've got only 1 of opener's major. I've got only 3 of opener's minor. I'm 5-4 in the other 2 suits." Well, it's still probably best to bid your 5-card suit here at the 2 level. It might be 2 diamonds, might be 2 hearts, and opener should take that into accord when he thinks about bidding over your 2 of a red suit in that auction.
Yeah, you got a bad hand there. So.
If you've got a bad hand without a fit for either of partner's 2 suits.
Yep.
I mean, if you're 1-4-4-4, you probably just pass and let partner play it in maybe a 4-3 club fit. What else might you have? You might say, suppose you have king, queen, 10, 9, 6 of clubs and out. And you can't bid 2 clubs over opener's spade suit. And you bid, but you say it's just too good to pass. Maybe you add a stray jack if you think that's not good enough. And opener opens a spade and rebids 2 hearts. And now if you bid 3 clubs, that shows this kind of hand. It says, partner, I think we should play in this suit. It's not good enough to have forced a game in the first place. So let's play it here. And that's just a drop dead bid. Same thing if it's diamonds, same thing if it's hearts. Oftentimes you can play those at the 2 level if your suit is diamonds or hearts. But that's the idea. And
I actually, let me interject here. I actually think it's one of the biggest advantages to one NoTrump forcing is this bid right here, is that you can end up in a really long responder suit, nice and low.
One really good principle that I learned, and it's kind of a mantra for me, is that the best place to play is in the weak hands long suit. The weak hands long suit. Because opener, the strong hand, they've got high card tricks. But the weak hand, oftentimes the only way that hand can take any tricks is if you play in the weak hands long suit. So
the same concept of a transfer.
The week
same concept as a transfer, right?
Yeah. So when opener opens a NoTrump, that's why we like playing that. Now there's so how do you differentiate between that 6-point hand that I described and a 10-point hand? There are tools that people have added like intermediate jump shifts, invitational jump shifts. Well, that's not part of what we're teaching, but is what I play with my favorite partners because of that very issue. So now, if you have 9-11, you can jump to 3 clubs with that suit. And if you have 6 to 8, you just bid a no trump, and now you have a more well-defined range. I think I'm going to open up for questions here because it's 9:57.
I put a question in the chat, but I'm not sure if you saw it. So if opener
yeah, I
has
see
5
it now.
hearts and 4 spades, but only 13 points, what's the rebid?
2 of his better minor, 2 of his longer minor.
Okay. But if he's 5,
Good
4, 2,
question,
2, you just
Carlene.
pick one?
It's he picks 2 clubs.
Okay.
Yep.
That's the biggest good eye. It occurred to you to ask about the one problem hand.
Yeah. Yep, it's a tough one to do. And you know, a lot of these kind of misfits, guys, and I think, you know, taking to heart what he said is that we end up wanting to just go to no trump. Well, they got this suit, they got that suit. But if we're really low on points, okay, try to play it in a suit. High card points, actually, they count, they're worth their value in no trump. But it's distribution that comes to play with suit contracts. So it's tough to bid that suit there, Carlene, but you can't reverse there. You can't go to 2 spades.
Yeah. So what you're hoping is that your partner had 3 hearts and 11 points and is going to come back to you now in your hearts, right?
Yeah, or he might just refer back to 2 hearts, and that's okay. You're playing in a 5-2 fit. Or he might bid 2 diamonds because he has a long diamond suit. All sorts of good things can happen. And really, the only time you're going to be in a really weird fit is if partner's 1-4-4-4, and he passes you in a 4-2 club fit. I've never had that happen personally.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Susan asked a different question.
But from Susan Hatch, which is not really within the confines of this.
Yeah, that's what I was going to do. I was going to say, we'll have that be a different lesson.
Yeah, I mean, that's after a no trump opener, I assume you're asking that question.
Yeah, one clarification on Carlene's question. When you say you would bid your better minor, what is your definition of better minor? What would you have to have?
Longer.
Longer, thank you.
Would you have to have 4 or 5?
No.
3?
So let's say you're 5-3-3-2 in shape. So you have 5 spades, 3 hearts, 3 diamonds, 2 clubs, you bid 2 diamonds. If your minors are both 3 cards in length, you just bid 2 clubs.
Okay. Okay, and then one quick question, because it looks like we have to start. Do you recommend minor transfers?
All right, I'm going to stop the recording now. New lesson. Thanks, guys.